I think museums of the future are going to engage people by looking at objects in more than just visual and audio ways. I think it'll be through all the senses and maybe even something that we haven't discovered yet. And I'm looking forward to it.
The Museum of the Future will also be a social space, but a space that will be inclusive of everybody, regardless of age and gender, background, ethnicity, or any educational or demographic requirements. It's a place where people can come together to engage socially in a space where they can learn, grow and develop, and also to engage with the museum and their objects.
It will embrace new technology. It'll embrace new discoveries. If we found Richard III in the 21st century, imagine what we'll find in the 22nd century and the 23rd century. So the excitement and the possibility, I think, will really be there. And I think that museums will embrace that. But I also think that the big problem with saying, what will the Museum of the Future be like, is that the future never comes. The future's always ahead of us. So I think that saying that, we need to say, what will the museums be like in the 22nd century, in the 23rd century? The future, tomorrow is the future. What will the museum be like tomorrow? So I think that, so it's a double-edged sword. Yes, it'll be brilliant, and we can't even envision the amazing things that are, the people coming after us will be able to do, but I also think that we can't allow that to not think about what we can do today and tomorrow.
I think the Museum of the Future should always be by your side.
The Museum of the Future will see the collections kind of come out of storage and be able to really be accessed by everyone and people who want to get involved in that. So be it online or physically, it'll be a much more accessible way to kind of have these really meaningful engagements with objects.
I think the Museum of the Future will be a place where you can have an experience with the real in a world that's increasingly networked, digitized, and separated. It's a place where you can come and have a genuine physical experience with things.
I think it will become a bigger part of everyone's lives. I think in the past there's been an issue where the museum's been for a very specific group of people. And I think in the future, it's really going to tie into all areas of the community, or people from different backgrounds, and it's going to be kind of a central hub for learning, for information, for communication.
I think a lot of people still have the sort of traditional idea of what a museum is, and that's a sort of dusty institution where nothing changes much. So I think the future museum will be a lot more open to change and sort of also a lot more appealing to a wider audience, so it won't just be sort of the curator dictating what goes into the museum, but also I think museums in the future will take into account a lot more what their audiences want and what their local communities want. And in that way they'll be sort of leaders in facilitating positive changes in society.
I think the Museum of the Future will still have dinosaurs.